Greetings from Blockbuster News. Here's the latest news in cardiology. The first article today is a study which examined the influence of the COVID-19 pandemic in India on variation in clinical features, management, and in-hospital outcomes in patients undergoing PCI. During the first COVID-19 year, patients had more hypertension, end-STEMI, lower LVEF, and multi-vessel CAD. In the second COVID-19 year, patients had more STEMI, lower LVEF, multi-vessel CAD, primary PCI, multiple stents, and more vasopressor and mechanical support. Conclusion was, in-hospital mortality among patients with CAD undergoing PCI was significantly higher in the second year of the COVID-19 pandemic in India and could be one of the reasons for excess deaths. These patients had more severe CAD, lower LVEF, and more vasopressor and mechanical support and duration of hospitalization. The next article is a retrospective analysis of critically ill patients with AMI who received the early administration of beta blockers within 24 hours of admission. It was observed that the early administration of beta blockers could lower the risks of in-hospital and long-term mortality. The early administration of oral beta blockers and IV beta blockers followed by oral beta blockers may reduce the mortality risk. Patients who underwent revascularization with the early administration of beta blockers showed the lowest risks of in-hospital and long-term mortality. The next article is from the Journal of American Heart Association, aimed to estimate the risk of developing an incident cardiovascular event among young patients diagnosed with obstructive sleep apnea. The study included 20,240 patients aged less than 50 years with OSA. At 5-year follow-up, 31.8% developed any CV events compared with 16.5% of the controls. 27.3% developed incident hypertension compared with 15% of the controls. 6.8% developed incident diabetes compared with 1.4% of the controls. It was concluded, similar to older adults, young adults with OSA demonstrate increased risk of developing CV events. To prevent cardiovascular disease progression, accumulation of cardiovascular risk factors, and mortality, risk stratification and prevention strategies should be considered. For more such interesting news in the field of cardiology, tune into Blockbuster News from BLOCPRO. For abstracts, please contact our IPCA Cardanova representative.